Hello and welcome to this Gotham Police tutorial set 1. So I've started off with the models fully primed and assembled obviously, and I'm going to start off with Incubi Darkness from Citadel. It's a base paint and it goes on lovely, especially on a darker colour. This, as I recall, it's not a black primer, it's a very dark grey primer, which suits my purposes well. It's all very dark feel to the Gotham miniatures anyway, for the majority of the time. And Incubi Darkness seemed to fit rather well with what I wanted and my vision of how the police and their uniforms are going to be in my Gotham universe. So yeah, so I just painted it over with a small brush. Actually, I could have just used a bigger brush or even airbrushed it on, to be truthful, but I just didn't for some reason. Anyway, Chaos Black was next. I think you can use Abaddon Black or any black really. This is just for like the shoes, the hat on the one figure, and the tonfa sticks. So I do actually do both different figures in this set. There are only 2 figures in the set, so it's quite easy to do both side by side. So I was laying down the black on the cap of the first guy there. The other one isn't wearing a hat of any sort, so I felt there wasn't any need to do anything yet on like his hair or anything. So obviously I did it on the other model as well. Next was a Dead White by Game Colour, although again you can use any white you like. I was using this to paint the shirt underneath. Ordinarily I would do the inner layer first, but I wasn't sure at this stage what other colours I was going to be using. I just thought I'd get the white down now, because I knew I wanted his shirt white, or their shirts I should say. So there's not a lot of white on the other model, but I did them, side by side, as you can see. Okay, Dryad Bark. So I'm going on to do the skin tones now, and on the one chappy there without the cap, I'm doing a darker skin tone, starting with Dryad Bark. So just popping that on. Again, on either of these models, there's not a lot of skin area to show anyway. It's just a case of face and hands. So you can really take your time on these, which is nice. And the poses are really nice too. All easily accessible areas, and it just makes for a whole different pleasure of painting experience, I think. I was saying that I thinned all my paints down with Lemaine medium for this tutorial, so I thought rather than show the Lemaine medium every time, I just cut that bit out. Okay, so on the other guy I'm using Bugman's Glow to do his skin base tone, because I want him to be like a Caucasian dude, like it shows on the art. I was sticking somewhat to the artwork, kind of as much as I could really. So I'm just using this as a reference for the future police when I get them. Again, it's just face and hands. Right, coming back to Incubi Darkness. So I want to get the jacket done, but the shirt was underneath the jacket, so I had to get that done first. Sometimes I feel it's easier doing it that way than other ways. So once you get the Incubi Darkness down, you kind of get more of an idea for where you want to go with it. It's a very, I don't know, it leans more towards grey than blue, I suppose. Or if it was a grey, you'd say it's got blue undertones to it. That whatever way you look at it, it seemed to suit my purpose rather well. Because I want a kind of blue feel to it, but I want a kind of grey feel to it as well, which works for me in the Batman game. Like I say, everything's very dark, so dark colours were called for. Although he's holding a torch in his right hand, so because if you don't know, the game is all set at night, so it's night time for all of the game. There you go. So I did the Incubi Darkness on both of them. Right, I'm on to Vallejo Concrete now, it's called, and I'm just using this to do the base, just so I can break up and differentiate between the bottom and the middle and the top of the models. And I'm painting it to kind of match the table mat I've got there at the moment, so they're standing on stone, like street stone, as opposed to like grey stone that you'd find in more of a fantasy setting. So that's concrete. So I did that on both models, obviously. Next I went on and did the gunmetal. Let's call it. You can also use lead belcher. It's pretty much identical. Just to do a couple of the metal bits. His gun, his pistol thing he's got there going on. There's like a belt buckle as well, which I did as well. There we are. Then I was looking around on the other model. So I was doing it all this way around to let certain colours dry, so I could get the figure painted in as fast a time as I possibly could. So there's not a lot on him to do. They got like I don't know, some sort of, I don't know what it is, walkie-talkie or something, and I wanted it. I suppose it should have been black, really, but I wanted something to break up the midsection on their bodies, just to break it up. Right, now I'm going in with model color black red, just to do the casing of the torch that guy is holding. So it's a fairly straightforward single layer of black red. I'm not too fussed about primer showing through, although it didn't, but that kind of lends itself to the colour I wanted anyway. Right, now we're on to Drakenhof Nightshade to get over all the trousers and the jacket for the Incubi Darkness. And this is now what I was hoping would give me the overall blueness I was looking for. The dark blue, grim blue. Dark blue, grim blue. That's what I was looking for with this colour scheme. And it worked rather well, so I'm pleased about that. Of course, having to be very careful about where it goes so it doesn't go into any other area. That's why I'm kind of not allowing it to pool up too heavily. And there, that's the exactly the result I was looking for. Null and oil is next. This is just to shade wash the white and the metal, I believe. So I always find black shades white best. So I use that, and then I'll just highlight it up again afterwards. Sometimes, if need be. So it's just washing over the metal and the whites. Seraphim Sepia was next for the base over the concrete colour. So this nice heavy wash of Seraphim Sepia. I didn't thin that one down at all. I didn't thin any of the washes down, so I'll state that. But everything else was thinned down with Lemire medium, apart from the dry brush. Jackbone from P3 is what I'm using to dry brush over the top of this. So it's more of an overbrush, but that then gives me the effect I want for the base. It matches the table rather well. Chaos Black to tidy up around the edge of the base, then makes it look a whole lot better. They always say, get your faces and bases done and it looks amazing. Get it on the tabletop. There's some truth to that. So yeah, starting to look a lot more complete. Cadian Flesh Tone, as I'm highlighting up the skin on the guy with the gun. I'm not going too heavily on flesh tone highlights on these figures because it's yeah, they're 35mm, but they're it's a dark universe, so I figured not to go too heavily on that. They seem quite a true scale anyway, so you compare it with a 28mm Space Marine, for instance, you get about roughly the same size, I suppose. It's certainly not a heroic scale by any standards. So there's that guy. And then Goldfag Brown. I'm just doing a quick dry brush over the top for that one. Felt a bit too light for my taste after I did it. It was not quite the look I was going for, but it worked anyway in the end, as it turned out, and I was happy with it. So Agrax Earth Shader, I put undiluted down to bring it back down to more of a darker shade of brown. So that's what I wanted to do. And Chaos Black once again to do his hair. I think I added a couple of sideburns on as well, just for good measure. I just felt like it. A bit of an Elvis going on there. It was quite a. Oh, I was just touching up the Tomfer stick. Sometimes these models are quite tricky because they don't have a lot of texture on larger areas. Right, Screaming Skull is next. And I'm doing like the badges and insignia on there, like their patches and things like that. So I didn't want to go white. I wanted an off-white. I figured Screaming Skull would be my best bet. So as it turned out, I was very happy with the look in general. So I'll definitely do that again in future. onto the second one. I wasn't actually sure where the insignia was exactly without looking at the artwork. There's only a small detail, but models like this, the smallest details make all the difference. And then it was just a case of looking around the model to see if there was anything else that needed touching up or doing. And there you have it. That is my Police Set 1 tutorial. Obviously I'm not going to do a Police Set 2 or 3 tutorial or whatever, because they're all going to be pretty much the same. And I'm going to use the same colour schemes for them. So please like this video if you did like it. Please share. It's very important to share the videos out there. And subscribe if you're not already. And I will gladly see you on the next video. But remember, all brushes lead to war. Thanks very much.